Damn it. Ruffin! Jaybe, get it together, man. You do this every damn time, Jaybe. And then the internet wants to go slow. Great, fine. See, this is why I hate capitalism. Shit. Doggone it. Jaybe, get it together. I know they can hear me in the background. Hey, everybody. We haven't started yet, so don't say hello yet. Damn it. Why in the heck? Why does these people even watch me? I am so silly. All right, Ruffin. Come on, baby. Give me a new pair of shoes. Boom. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Welcome. Come on in. Sit down. Have a seat. Y'all didn't hear all that, did you? Anywho, welcome to the Sabby and Jaybe show. My name is Jaybe. I am here with the hostess with the mostest, Sabby. Sabs, say hello, Sabby.
Hello.
All right. Also, we have a special guest, former RBN member and friend to RBN, the Killjoy herself, Miss Meg.
Oh, yeah. Hi. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Oh, no. Look, hello, everybody. Welcome. The Sabby and Jaybe show is every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Thank you so much. If you have not liked the stream, please make sure to like the stream. Gosh, okay, so just so that, say our former hellos to everybody. We got Dabby Dabs in the chat saying, how's it going, RBN fam? Don't forget to give the like button some love. Make love to the like button, baby. Make love to it. John Kemper is in the chat saying, liked and shared. Thank you. Bad Cookies is in the chat says, we ball till we fall. Hit the mall. After we hit it, don't call. We fill your lies with nothing but lies. And I would like to apologize. John Rodriguez says, with the power of Kanye, I release the forces.
That's a good one.
Gamer and Ganja for Life says hello. All right. We got Porteri says, live long and prosper. Eyes, nose. Oh, you can smell me? Yeah, I put on deodorant.
Smell-o-vision.
Okay. Smell-o-vision. Roman Smith is in the chat, says, yay, be you. All right. Bling Girl is laughing. Gamer is laughing. Everybody just go ahead and laugh. All right. Greg is in the chat. What's up, my man? Good to see ya. All right. See, Zombie in the Air. Ooh, nice name. Hello. So good to see you. Jay Burke says, man, you can do nothing but love that kind of enthusiasm. It's the T. Saul Construct says, hey, fams. JM, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate it very much. All right. And who else do we got? We got John in the chat saying, hi, all. Hi, Sabby, Jaybe, and Meg. Happy Thursday. Wadi says, hey, everybody. All right. And who else do we got? Let's do a couple more. All right. We have Rick Solis say, hey, y'all. Hey, Rick. All right. This is in the chat. Says, when's the Anna Kasparian interview? You know the hoes be knowing. The hoes be knowing. We don't know because we ain't hoes, but the hoes be knowing. They know. Let me stop. Devotion Orange says, hit the what up,
Hit up the like. What up?
Thank you.
Hit the like.
Thank you. All right. Okay, and also, I think we already have some chats on Ruffin. Let me see. All right, let's go to Ruffin real quick, because I want to make sure that I hit the rock.
Who's ready to rock?
Mm-hmm. We didn't land on Ruffin. Ruffin landed on us.
Oh man. Oh,
I
boy.
know. Sabby, I know. She's gonna tell me how that was weird off the air. It's okay. Dick on Ruffin. Sorry. Dick on Ruffin says, short of this, creating your own manufacturing production guild factory under your, then the only thing we can say with some certainty is a Jewish person will be relaunching Kanye West's career. I don't see YouTube live. Yeah, it's on YouTube, John. It says, when's the Pac-Man interview?
Everybody has jokes tonight.
Yep. Oh, wait.
Did I miss something?
I missed this part. I had to hand it to Mr. West. You sure know how to get out of the contracts to keep you from running business, manufacturing shoes and garments, percent media productions. You want your own trained employed workers. It's an opportunity for sure. What would you make of it? Interesting. All right. Oh. Kanye apologized.
Kinda.
So we're going to be talking about that. Also, I have a question for Sabby. I have one question for you. Tell me if you want me to. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Sorry. It's the tea, y'all. Jeez Louise. Okay.
I don't know what the question is either. Just let people know. I don't know what the question is.
That's part of the reason why Meg is here also, because the question is going to be good because you and Meg can also collaborate on what your answer is going to be. It's going to be good. Okay. So one of the things that we also want to talk about was before we get into all that, there was a passing away of a rapper recently. This rapper was part of the group the Migos. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know one song from them. Yeah, I'm an elder millennial, so I'm like, who? But apparently they're very big, and I would just wanted to make sure that I cover this story. I actually saw it first on TMZ like 2-3 hours after it actually happened. And so I'm gonna actually go into and share my screen to talk about that. His name is Takeoff. That was I guess that was his stage name that everybody knows him by.
Yeah.
And this is from the AP. It says Takeoff, dead at 28 in shooting, was Chill Migos member. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one Takeoff. I think the one at the end is Offset. I think Takeoff is the one with the glasses. I think.
They all have them glasses.
Never mind. I was thinking about the black frame glasses. I just realized they all have on glasses. Okay. Okay, it says, at 28, rapper Takeoff has cultivated a rich hip-hop legacy with Migos, along with a reputation like Trio's most low-key member before he was killed in a shooting on Tuesday. Takeoff was pronounced dead at the scene at Houston Bowling Alley. Police there said at a press conference, no arrests have been made. Police were imploring witnesses to come forward with information. His name was Nick Caribal. He grew up in Atlanta. And so it says Quavo was his uncle and Offset was his cousin, and the trio was raised in large part by Takeoff's mom. So they're all related.
I just want to add something here where it says Gwinnett County. For those who are not aware, Gwinnett County is a pretty well-to-do suburb in Atlanta. For those who don't know, like it's pretty middle class, upper middle class.
Yeah. So it says he grew up in suburban Atlanta, Gwinnett County. Wow, that's
Mhm.
interesting. Okay. It says Takeoff was the youngest of three and viewed as the most laid back member. He didn't appear at the headlines at the start of at the rate of Offset, who married Cardi B and wasn't in high demand as featured at on top 10 tracks like Quavo was guest hits with Post Malone, DJ Khaled, and Dre. Quavo and Offset were also really okay. So basically, it's talking about how he was just shot. Um, says it's basically talking about the Migos uprise. Uh, wait, hang on. Everyone. So basically, it's talking about how he was shot. Well, part of it was they were playing dice. That's one of the facts that I do know, and it was in front of a bowling alley. So um, it's just sad because people and I think this is going to be a ploy for the right to start talking about black on black crime, which is completely a racist trope. Because really, when it comes to crime is really within is about proximity to people.
Yeah.
So people will talk about something that happened to him. If he was white, and he was in related to a lot and associated with a lot of white people, then it would have been a white person that shot him most likely. But it was just really about proximity, and so
Mhm.
it's just sad to see that someone another young person is shot within our community. And a lot of times a lot of these crimes are crimes of desperation and crimes of opportunity because of poverty. And so or sometimes it's just it's other things outside of that. But that's also the news that was happening recently.
They didn't also like they didn't give enough detail either. I've noticed that about this incident. Just that he was shot outside of a bowling alley.
Hmm.
Don't know who the suspect is or who they're looking for. I mean, it just don't know if he knew the guy that shot him, if this was over something else, a disagreement.
Yeah.
They just didn't go into much detail.
I don't know why. I mean, Meg, if you have any thoughts you'd like to share, I mean, but I really don't know because really, I mean, that article was just going into their their history, sort of. So, I mean, they didn't really go over like what happened.
Right. And for people who don't know, this group, Migos, they're very popular.
Hmm.
I didn't know. I'm like you, JB. I didn't even know who they were
Yeah.
until like 2 years ago because my little sister told me about them, and I was like,
Okay.
I don't listen to a lot of new music.
Me neither.
So for me, especially when it comes to rap, I don't like new rap too much. I like older. I like 90s rap. 90s rap is still my fave. So I was just kind of like, I don't know who this is. My sister's like, they're huge. You don't know Migos. And so then I went on Spotify and start looking them up. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is just crazy. Like
Hmm.
28 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Seems to
so
be the
I,
magic number for young talent. Like
Hmm.
27, 28. There's so many people
yeah.
lost at that age. Like if it seems almost like if you get over 27, 28, then you're pretty smooth sailing for a little bit, but like you got to get past that hump. But so many young people just don't, especially young
Yeah.
celebrities.
Wasn't what's her name? She was a British singer. She apparently everybody loved her. I forgot her name. Amy Winehouse. What
Oh
age was
yeah.
she? What age was she when she died? Because she was young. She was in her
I
20s.
feel like she was in that club too, that 27, 28 club. I don't know off the top of my head. You'd have to
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like Jimi Hendrix, who else? Heath Ledger, I know, was in that age. Uh, no, there's one other that I was
Wow.
thinking of. But yeah, so many. Just like they don't make it past 27 or 28.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Man. Yeah. It's just sad. Sad all around. So I hate to kind of bring it down,
Yeah, Jim
talking
Morrison.
about that. Yeah. I hate to bring it down with stuff like that, but that was something that I know it's a lot in the news and people are talking about that. I mentioned it to my nephew actually on the phone. He's 18, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, that was crazy." I was just like, "Yeah," but I'm trying to act like I knew who he was because it's just sad. But
Yeah,
that's
so
what happened.
Winehouse. Yeah, Winehouse is 27.
She was
Mhm.
27.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kurt
And
Cobain. Yeah,
Kurt
Kurt
Cobain.
Cobain.
Okay.
And who's
Okay.
the other one that she was at Woodstock, but I can't think of what her name is.
Was it
Like,
Janis? Was it
Janis
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 Joplin?
Joplin. Yeah.
What?
Janis
Okay.
Joplin. She was 27 too.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yep.
Man, a lot of people
Mhm.
died at 27.
Mhm.
Or and if they don't die at 27, they die at 50. It's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like either they're just hit 50 or they're over 50. Like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince was in his 50s. So it was just like when people Mac Miller, wasn't he associated with oh my god, what's her name? She always has a ponytail. She was on
Ariana
Nickelodeon.
Grande.
Yes, Ariana Grande. Everybody talked about him. Um, yeah, it's crazy how people.
And didn't the article say though that he was like involved with Cardi B? The
I
guy
don't
who
know.
was just shot.
I
I
didn't
could have
even know. I'll
swore.
be honest with you.
Yeah,
I didn't even know who. I didn't know who Mac
I didn't
Miller
know.
was until he died.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh wait,
But
Paul Smith says Heath Ledger was 28 when he died. Okay, but
yeah,
still
so
around the
27,
same age.
28. Yeah.
Yeah, but thing is that okay, so apparently Takeoff is related to Offset, and Offset is the husband to Cardi B.
There
Okay.
you go.
So that's the relation to Cardi
Okay.
B. So I haven't seen anything on Twitter from Cardi B. So I don't know because she would probably be saying something. I am
I mean,
Cardi.
was anybody with him? I think I found a video.
I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
you can play it, but I'm not sure. Um, I mean, you can play it, but I'm not sure because there's been some complaints about them actually showing him shot dead on the floor. So I don't know if they're going to show that.
Let me
So
see. It's only 50
Mhm.
seconds. I'll see myself real quick. It's
okay, yeah.
But yeah, to your point, JB is like it's just tragic to lose another young black life.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's gonna be used as fodder. It really is.
I'm
Okay,
just
I can share. This is like 50
okay.
seconds.
Okay.
So it shows like what happens right before, I guess. He definitely wasn't alone. I mean, there's a lot of people around. Hold on, let me see. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Somebody has to know something because let's see, here we
So
go.
okay.
They know what, but they're not going to be disrespectful like they want to.
Okay, so
Wow.
somebody saw something. You see what I mean with all those people there?
Yeah. Yeah. But gosh, I hate to say this, but unfortunately, snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Snitches get stitches. And the thing is that they won't go to the police because if somebody goes to police, then somebody's gonna know out of that group, somebody snitch, which means that somebody's gonna get got. So that's the way it is.
Yep.
You know.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And from what it looked like, because I think I saw a Chucky doll. I think that was on Halloween, which was
I think
Monday.
so.
Yeah. So it's just wild how, unfortunately, even if you tell the police, like, what good is it really going to do anyway?
Right.
Because, like, they can probably do an investigation and find a perpetrator, maybe, but what then?
No, you're right. This is true. I mean, it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it's just, it was a target. You could tell it was targeted, right? Because they only shot him. It's not like there was anybody else, or from what I saw, it didn't look like anybody else was injured.
Yeah.
So just something to think about.
And my question is like, what beef or what controversy was there between them? Because apparently they were playing dice. So either somebody got mad while they were playing dice, or somebody has a past with them and came to them, and there was a confrontation, and they wanted to, take the life of, at least two of Migos, because that's what they wanted to do.
Well, the other thing too was it didn't seem like there was security. It didn't seem like they had like a bodyguard or anyone there with them to protect them. So I did notice that. It didn't seem like there was a bodyguard with them. Bryce said, I think Offset hit someone.
You mean Takeoff? Because Offset was not there. It was Quavo and Takeoff that were there.
Right. Listen, you never know. There was a guy that went to high school with me, and a couple years after we graduated high school, I saw the story on the news. It was really crazy. Like, apparently he got into a disagreement with a couple of guys at McDonald's, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the McDonald's, left the McDonald's, and he thought everything was fine. Like when he left the McDonald's, they followed him. And apparently when he went to the gas station, they got out of the car and they killed him at the gas station. What? Yeah. So you never know. Like you never know if someone has a gun. Like that's the thing. Like if they're not showing it to you, you never know. And so, like I said, he had that little like disagreement with them at the McDonald's, left McDonald's thinking whatever, just a couple of guys I got into an argument with, and they followed him and killed him.
And some capitalists are going to look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, if we actually had good healthcare, education, and then that also leads to parents and community coming together and actually providing a good uplift for kids, then I'm not saying that things like that would happen more often, but the rarity, they would become less common.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have to worry about it. I know a lot of people who are conservative are like, oh, there's no more dads in the household, blah, blah, blah. No. Look, the thing is that the problem is that parents aren't able to spend time with their kids. And then on top of that, there's a separation of family, meaning we don't inculcate kids, as a village anymore. So because of that, because we don't, have this expansion of what a family is, like for instance, like what they did in Cuba, then, like for instance, and people will be like, oh, there needs to be a mom and dad. No, not really. I mean, there could be uncles and aunts and people like that, involved in the family. But the thing is that you have a village helping to raise the child and not just depending on just a mother and father, so that kids can grow up in a very well-rounded environment. Plus, on top of that, having great education, not, given to just some people, and then the other ones have to suffer. And then on top of that, also, all people being subject to a healthy system of mental health, because the thing is that we all need mental health continuously. Like, for instance, and people look at me like I'm crazy about this, but I think just like we need to get a physical every single year, or at least twice a year, we also should have a mental checkup at least twice a year, every single year, without having to pay for it. Because the thing is that mentally we go through wear and tear too. But the problem is, because we have a for-profit system, then people can't get that checkup, which means that they leave themselves up to their mental devices. And then next thing you know, there's a degradation in our society, which people commit crimes of, desperation and opportunity. And then this happens. And so, I think this is part of the nature that continuously happens within our society. Your thoughts, Meg?
No, I think you're absolutely onto something. And the fact that there is such, particularly within American capitalism, there's such this focus on the nuclear family, and that anything outside of the nuclear family is kind of forfeit. Like, if anything's going to happen, it's like it has to be within the nuclear family. The two parents, the 2.5 kids and their white picket fence. Like, it has to be within that family. We even see a lot of this in a lot of the surveillance of different families who don't fit that mold of how they're seen as and how they're othered. And also this idea that only the nuclear family can make decisions for, what happens with their kids. Like, and Jaybe, you and I can speak of this even with a lot of legislation that's happening right here in Florida. Like, all this parental concern. It's like, okay, but it's not just your decision, because you can teach your kids whatever you want about, religion or whatever, but they're going to interact with other people in the world. They need to be able to have relationships with other people outside their nuclear family. And if they're not going to learn that from you, where are they going to learn it? And so there's all this, like, we need more communalism. And that's one of the things that, like, whenever I was growing up back in Canada, like, my mom could just drop me off at my neighbor's house with all of our friends would be out there in the yard playing after school while my mom was able to work. Like, maybe one mom in the neighborhood would be able to watch all the neighborhood kids while the other moms were taking a nap or going to work or doing something else. We had that community right there on our street. We were able to watch out for one another. And we're losing that more and more and more, especially as parents have to work even more for such little money. Like, that money is not going it's not going as far. And we haven't seen pay raises. So they're working harder for less money. So when we are having this kind of economic strife, things like this are going to happen because we're not having that type of communalism that we used to have. And it does come down to capitalism. Yeah.
Hey, Meg, are you, because me and Sabby, we're all millennials here, right?
Yeah.
Remember when, if you wanted to know where all your friends were at, you go around the neighborhood and you see all the bikes at one house?
Yeah.
Maybe you can see a little big wheel. That's Billy's little brother's big wheel. So everybody and their mama's over there. And you're like, okay, let's go over there. And next thing you know, you say, hey, everybody's in there watching Power Rangers. So, so, I mean, you kind of had that community, right?
Yeah.
And that we went away from that, and there's a separation now. And I think that's part of the issue. Can you speak to that as well, Sabby?
Yeah, it's a big difference now. Like, I think I mentioned this before, that I rarely see kids playing outside anymore, and I don't know. Like, it's something.
They're all inside on their iPads.
Yeah, and like, when I was a kid, like, you'd have to beg me to come back inside the house. Like, I loved like playing outside, right? But I also
didn't come
noticed
home
something.
until that street light came on.
No, it's true. Yeah. Like, you had to beg us to come back inside. Like, but I also noticed something too, like, in the military community, like, when we lived on base, the families were very close, especially the wives, because the husband, like, would get deployed, right? So, like, when my dad went to Desert Storm, like, a lot of our dads went to Desert Storm or went to like Iraq, the wives were always really close and had a sense of community with each other anyway, because they had that same experience of the husband not being there. And so they would do like potlucks for each other. Like people would watch each other's kids. Like it, you know, it obviously they weren't going to charge you to like babysit or anything like that. They had that sense of community. The moment we came back to the States and we lived off base, that was when I saw the difference. Like that same type of just living in like a cul-de-sac or whatever, we did not have that same type of community that we had when we were living on base, because everyone in the neighborhood was not military. So I did notice like a big difference that like you just don't have it. I think when you look at some of the other countries and you look at the United States, the United States is really lacking a sense of community. And I feel like it's all about the individual now, especially with like technology. Like I said, the kids don't even want to come outside and play.
Yeah. And there was a comment saying that they didn't really believe it was capitalism, but here's the argument that this comes right from Marx. It's like the idea that he was looking at, you know, the factory, and the fact that we were all working, like everybody is so specialized and isolated from one another, and they didn't have a connection to the final product that they were making. But you can make that same argument when you actually look at how we are working so much, and, you know, particularly now that both parents have to be working, like we can't have one parent at home, that capitalism isolates us. And that's the thing that people don't understand. There, all the individualism that is in the United States, and the fact that we're isolated from one another, not only because of the individualism, but because people are working for more hours for less money. We are constantly being isolated, and we're being told, okay, you have to be on your phone, you have to be on your computer. Like, these are all the ways that we find entertainment and connection now. But we're not really connecting with our community. We're finding communities online, and that's great. That's one of the great things about technology, is that we've been able to find new connections and find new people to communicate with. But when that's not happening in our communities, those communities fall apart. And we're seeing that more and more. And I see that all the time because I teach part-time. I see it in our schools, and the high schools, in the middle school that I went to, like I'm teaching there now, and it is so much worse at these schools now than when I was going there. Like I literally had to watch the deterioration, and like people are not looking closely enough at what is actually happening and how it's impacting our kids, and that these kids are going to grow up thinking in this individualistic mindset where they're being isolated, and that they're thinking, oh, it's all on me. I am on my own. I have to deal with this stuff on my own. I have nobody to help me. I have no support. I have nothing. It's just me. I have to look out for me. And when you're just looking out for you, you're going to take whatever actions dictate, like, well, you may not be thinking what's actually best for me in this situation. You're thinking, no, I got to stand up for me and do what impulsively you think is the best in that moment. And crimes of passion like this can happen.
And one of the things I'll say too, in reference to social media, I find it to be incredibly disturbing if I'm hanging out with someone and they're on social media the whole time. Like they're just on their phone like this the whole time. It's like, well, what is happening here? You know, I feel like some people feel like they can't walk away from it for 1 hour or for like 2 hours. And it's like, I don't feel like it's healthy. And I just, especially with Twitter, because Twitter can be incredibly toxic. And I see people just on Twitter all day, just commenting and tweeting. And like, I told you guys this before, a lot of times when I tweet something, I tweet and hop off. Because it's easy to just sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll. And that's why if people respond to like my tweets, a lot of times you don't see me say anything. Because I don't have time. If I sat there all day looking at every response, every reply, everybody's tweet and stuff like that, what am I doing with my time? You know, it just, but some people will sit on there all day and just tweet. And I'm like, there's so much more out there in front of you, like to do, like with your life. It's like, while you're on Twitter all day, you could be having lunch with a friend. You could be like, I don't know, going for a walk, going for a jog. Like when people used to go out and do stuff, you know, now I see people, they'll go out and do stuff and they're still on their phone when they're doing stuff with people. It's too much, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And remember when company used to come by unannounced?
Yeah, like that was like a thing. Like people would just show up. Now, like now, if you just show up at someone's house, they're like, "What's wrong?"
Yeah. Or you didn't call before you came. You know. Back in the day, it used to be like, hey, what are you doing here? I was in the neighborhood. I just wanted to come by. Like this comedian talks about.
Let me make some tea. We'll sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah. It's just like this one comedian. He was like the grandma would be like, hey, you want some Sanka? Come in and get some Sanka. Here's some Intamin's cake. You guys have that. Have a slice of cake,
Intamins.
Intamins.
Yeah.
I think it's better for your mental health too. Like really, like, I don't know how people do it. Like if they're on there all day long and it's like, it's just very weird. And so like for some people, you need permission to call now. Like you can't just call people. Remember, I used to just pick up the phone and just be like, hey, what are you doing? Now it's like so many people have gotten used to someone texting them and say, is it okay if I call? And I've been guilty of it too. Like I'll text Jaybe and be like, hey, can I call? And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? What is happening here?
And I started doing the same. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why can't I just call Sabby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're always just so afraid that everybody's busy with like, oh, you don't have time for me.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this right now.
We're also
Sabby,
insecure.
you don't need to text me in order to call. Just call. And if I can pick up, I'll pick up. If I can't, then I can't. That's it.
Yeah.
Same to you, Meg. If you need to call, just ring. Look, all you need is a phone call and an open mind.
Yeah, it's true. My sister's younger than me. She's a lot younger than me. And so if I just pick up the phone and call her, she's gonna be like, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, like it's funny that my oldest brother, he's like right on the brink. He's that very eldest millennial where he's pretty much like Gen X. He's like right on the brink there. And he calls me all the time. It's just like just on a random time. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? And because he's always calling me to talk about politics, because that's all that we ever talk about. So, but yeah, he just calls. He'll call my mom. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more rare if my other brother calls me. Then I'm like, huh, this is interesting. And him just like, oh, hey, what's going on? What do you want today?
Okay, so ready to go to our main story?
Let's do it. Let's
just ready to rock.
Why people call me at the wildest times? Scam likely, really, while I'm live?
Speaking of phone calls,
stop it. Anywho,
you just said, JB.
I just said.
If you gotta call.
They heard you, JB.
Damn it. You're both right.
Don't be a hypocrite now. Don't be a hypocrite.
Let's talk about him. Okay. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Ye apologized. Do we need to do it? Like, okay, so a couple weeks back we talked about Kanye West and his whole White Lives Matter T-shirt, him teaming up with Candace Owens,
right?
And some black circles known as Candace Owens,
and some of the comments he made about Jewish people too.
Yeah, some of the comments he made about Jewish people. Did we even cover that about what he said about Jewish people? Did we cover that?
I don't remember. We might have mentioned it. I don't remember. Look, he's been doing so much stuff. I can't keep up with everything he's done the past 3 weeks.
Look, he's like the Tasmanian devil of controversy. He's crazy, man. So yes, I just did a Tasmanian devil impersonation, and no, I'm not proud of it. So let's go to the share the screen. Gosh, okay. Ah, jeez.
This is a
Actually,
very cringe conversation. I'm just warning you guys. Like it's like when someone tries to apologize, but then they say something after the apology that kind of takes away the apology. He says so many things wrong in this video. It's just bad. It's just bad.
Is it going to be worse? Because I read what he said in a Rolling Stone article, so it might be worse than what I read.
It's probably going to be worse than what you read because this is the actual. Yeah.
Gosh. All right. Let's get to it. Damn it.
Who you vote for? You. 100%. You. Let's go, baby. Demonizing, or I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like let it go by. All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
Okay, first off, I'm going to call bullshit. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Number one, you're talking about a guy who says publicly he doesn't read. Yes, Kanye says he does not read. He doesn't read books. Okay? But even still, my brother in Thor, you know what it is. Please do not come at me with, I didn't know it was Sabby, Meg, please, just.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing. I think this is just Kanye trying to save face because he started to lose money. And a lot of people may not realize this, but when all of those sponsors started to pull out from his clothing brand or whatever, with those ugly ass shoes, I'm sorry, those clothes are ugly. When they started to pull out, apparently Adidas, he actually still owed Adidas money, and they pulled out as a sponsor. That's the only reason why I feel like he even tried to make an apology, is because he started to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take.
Oh, thank you. Meg, if you dare.
I don't even know that there was any more to add to that after Sabby. I mean, seems pretty accurate to me. I mean, how can you not know what anti-Semitism is? I cannot take that seriously. That he doesn't know what anti-Semitism is.
Yep.
Come on, no way.
Hey,
but
he's full of shit.
This isn't even the worst part of the video, though. This is not even the worst. This is not even the worst part. It gets worse.
Damn it, Sabby. Why you gotta tell me? See, I don't even want to press play now.
Brace yourself.
Gee golly whiz, Sabs. Okay.
What you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statements?
Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I'm going to considering.
What do you mean walking back?
Well, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Was that what happened?
Well, what I said is, hey, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs. And I feel like right now, I feel like that was in Christianity, we don't say karma, we say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this is God humbling me right now because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. To say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money. And but that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So when I went to the mediation, what I want to say is like black people are like, okay, Lex Friedman got you to apologize. Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now, the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack and America is generally racist. And I understand.
Can we make sense of this, please?
That contradicts what he said before, though. You see what I mean? Like now he's saying, well, America is generally racist. But on a previous interview, he said the opposite of that. This is the problem with Kanye West. It's like his words are all over the place, man. Like all over the place. This doesn't make sense to me.
So my thing is, what apology? What apology? Meg, please jump in, please, Meg.
I mean, we haven't seen the whole video, but I have yet to see any type of apology. And clearly, whatever apology is in this video is clearly just some kind of way of excusing whatever the hell he did. He's obviously a reaction to what this guy asked him, like, well, why don't you just walk it back? Why don't you just walk it back? Even if you think you're right, like, why not just... And that clearly shows, the mindset of, oh, well, I'm losing money, so I got to save face, so I got to apologize, even though I might not mean it. And I have yet to see anything even resembling an apology. This is just a bunch of, he's trying to basically double down, showing all those executives who are Jewish. And it's like, oh my God, you are literally doubling down right now. And Like, even if you're trying to say, oh, for me to say this is anti-Semitic, I didn't know that. But, here's the proof of what I said. And so actually I'm right, even though you want to say like, he's trying to justify it. That's exactly, he's trying to justify his anti-Semitism. It's like, I'm like, you've seen me like covering up my face. I'm just like dumbfounded. Like, each time that as he just goes on and on and on and making himself to be the victim.
Yo.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
I was gonna say Nick is in the chat and he said Kanye was just a White Lives Matter person. That's the thing. Like, just a couple days ago, you see what I'm saying? Like, he does this back and forth thing.
Yeah. And look, before I because there's another point that Nick said, and I want to put that up too. But before I say that, there are two words that Kanye could have said that would have just settled things. I'm sorry. That's what he could have said. I'm sorry. And, he could have said, I regret what I said. What I said was wrong. He could have said it in a way more thoughtful way, but he chose not to. And then what Nick said, why didn't people come out against Kanye's anti-black comments? Exactly. Because here's the thing. Everybody was on board when he said anti-Semitic comments, which I agree with, right? But why didn't anybody keep that same energy when he said the anti-black comments that he said years ago on TMZ when he said slavery was a choice? Why didn't Adidas cut their ties with him that long ago? I'll tell you why. Because Adidas actually has a past as being Nazis. Adolf and Rudolph, who were the creators of Adidas, were Nazis. So guess what? Of course, if they began as Nazis, then guess what? It's not really about protecting Jewish people. Adidas doesn't give a shit about Jewish people. So what it really is it was a business decision. It all comes down to capitalism.
That's right.
And Kanye's decision was all because of capitalism. Because he went from being a billionaire to a 100 millionaire. And he was like, oh shit, I'm losing money, so I may have to walk this shit back. But he did it in the dumbest way possible.
Well, it's true. When Kanye West said slavery was a choice, black people, or black Twitter, I should say, for the most part, was like, what the hell is your problem? Like, we're really upset with Kanye West. But now, like, after his like anti-Semitic comments, I saw, what was it, Sarah Silverman? Sarah Silverman said on Twitter, the black community needs to be outraged and address Kanye West. And someone responded, no, let me tell you, someone responded, a black woman responded and said, we've been calling out Kanye West for his remarks and his behavior. Where was the white community when he said that slavery was a choice?
Yo, wait a minute. Sarah Silverman, where were you when he said that slavery was a choice years ago? Where were you, ma'am? Where were you? Because the thing is that you could have said something back in the day. You could have backed us up. Like,
yeah. And also that just like that wording too of the black community needs to do this. It's like, I'm sorry, why are you calling on the black community to do something when you could just condemn it? It's like, why are you calling on the black community to do it? Like, especially when they've been doing that work already. It's like, I don't understand why, Sarah Silverman, why? Like, just condemn it. You don't have to call on anybody. It's like, hey, you come get your boy. That's basically what she's saying. It's like, no. Like, don't do that.
There's more. Go ahead, JB.
Fuck me sideways. God damn it. All right. Shoot. Gee golly.
And that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right? When let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. when the idea Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now afterwards, yes, there was some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened, but the general feeling. So when I said that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the Black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them, because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now.
I want to cuss him out. I want to cuss him out right now. I really want to cuss him out.
Oh my God.
I want to cuss him out so bad right now. I want to cuss him out so bad it will get us demonetized. That's how badly I want to. Sabby? Meg?
So God made him realize through Adidas what he was doing was wrong. Was it God or was it his bank account?
Thank you.
Because once the sponsors started pulling, he's not a billionaire anymore, by the way, guys. For people who are like Kanye, he's not a billionaire once those sponsors pulled out. So he knows what it feels like to have a knee on his neck. Do you see how this is like? It's like he tries to apologize, but then he pretty much removes the apology by the bullshit that he says after it.
Oh my God.
Meg, please, just.
I'm like, that's literally the first time I heard that. And I'm speechless. I'm oh my God. Wow. But
Nick,
I
I love
mean,
you.
yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is, I mean, especially here in the United States, you know, or even in the West, like as far back as Catholicism, politics, religion, capitalism, it's all connected. It's like, so yeah, God is working really well in your bank account right now. But this mean, oh my gosh. Like,
Well,
I'm
he has to get
literally
through that
just,
eye
I'm
of a needle.
flummoxed.
So.
Yeah, I honestly am flummoxed. But it's this idea of like that prosperity doctrine of like, oh, if you are of good, you know, if you're a good Christian, then you're going to see prosperity, you're going to see money and all this idea. And I think that is very much what Kanye is saying, but it's very obvious that he's like, no, this isn't because I feel like I'm wrong, it's because I'm losing money. And he did apologize, I guess. He apologized, I guess, for the George Floyd comment, but definitely not for the anti-Semitism. He just kind of doubled down on that. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I lost money, so I'm sorry. But I'm flummoxed. Like, that's literally the only thing I can. I'm just wow, to put yourself in that position of saying I am such a victim. I now know what it's like to have a knee on my neck. Like wow. I am so just, I have no other words. Like, I'm flummoxed.
It's floor. I feel.
Wait, hang on. Caden, what are you talking about? Caden says he removes the apology because he's not sorry for what he said.
Yeah.
Because it was the truth? I just don't think y'all understand his analogies and what he's saying.
I understand he lost money. That's the only reason why he's trying to even say what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. He didn't speak out to try to make some type of apology until his sponsors started to pull out.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
This is the equivalent of motherfucker is sorry because he got caught. That's basically what the equivalent of this is. And so here's the thing. Now, Kanye is only talking about this. And here's the thing. Kanye could have learned a lot if he actually picked up a book. But he chose not to. And so because of that, now he is putting his foot in his mouth. And so, you know what? The thing is, we understand what he's saying is that it's just ridiculous on his face. And here's the thing. Like, some people are so caught up, so up Kanye's ass that they're sitting here and they're making excuses for a billionaire. How far have we fallen as a community that we make excuses for billionaires like Kanye who want to be like the rich white billionaires around him? And so now some of us in the black community are sitting here making excuses for him for saying anti-black sentiments and getting the racists among us, the oppressors, to actually glad hand him. And so then now he's making money off of it. But now that it's unpopular for him to do so, you have companies, capitalist companies, are now pulling away from him. But here's the thing. If it was socially acceptable to be racist, nothing would have happened to Kanye.
Yeah.
So they're pulling away from him, not because it was wrong, but because they can't make money off of him anymore.
Exactly.
And so Kanye is only learning the lesson because of his pocket, not because of the moral or ethical aspects of it. And so that's the reason why. So we fully understand. The problem is Kanye does not understand. That's the problem. And until Kanye actually understands, until he actually learns from his father, who is a former Black Panther, then he'll finally understand. But he's not. Until then, he won't. And so we have been trying to tell people. We have been screaming it from the mountaintops. The thing is that nobody wants to listen to us. Nobody wants to listen to black people. And then, next thing you know, you'll see another George Floyd with a knee on his neck. And then some other people will be like, oh, I think I get it now.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I don't think, I think that him aligning himself with Candace Owens doesn't help him either.
No. Shall I continue, Sabs?
Go ahead. There's something else he says too.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God. No, take me instead.
So I thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEF CON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed.
Yeah.
I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How?
Well,
Stop.
I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. God runs the world. God even runs Hollywood. God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck, for Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes, and I had the Red October. And my girlfriend at the time was pregnant, and I needed to get some money. Because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat.
Right.
When Nike would have shut me down immediately, right?
Right, dude.
But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political opinion as an American, that I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat, and let's talk about the similarities to the White Lives Matter t-shirt. Mm-hmm. The thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that.
Oh my God.
It was a Jewish doctor that diagnosed me of having a disorder that would have had me on medication right now. At a time like this, if I was on medication right now, then one pill could have been swapped out and it would be Michael Jackson and Prince all over again. But because I didn't take the misdiagnosis and I didn't take the medication, I'm able to speak to you guys clear of thought and transparently. Now, let me talk about the red hat. Wearing the MAGA hat, the way that Hollywood's political agenda attacked me and put me to a point of exhaustion was death by 1,000 cuts. Everyone would say something to me, from a driver to my ex-wife to Adidas. Everyone would say something. So when I wore that White Lives Matter, I said, I'm not going through this again. I'm not going. Hey, y'all gonna leave me alone about my t-shirt. Because what's the point of having influence and having money that people could come up and just pinch you?
But don't you think having influence, you have a responsibility?
And that's the responsibility that I'm taking right here.
Can you pause
That's
it,
why you
JP?
asked that question.
But don't you think it's dangerous rhetoric to be anti-Semitic to say all lives matter or white lives matter? Oh, I'm asking.
You're harping on something. Saying white lives matter, anti-Semitic. That's what you just asked.
I'm not saying that's.
Can you pause it, JP?
You just said
I don't know
that.
if you can hear me.
But you misspoke. But I'm saying
no, you didn't. That was a Freudian slip.
I'm trying to correct myself.
Okay, correct yourself.
To walk around with
Do you want to walk back that statement?
Sure, I will.
You got the chance.
Walk back that statement.
Do you think maybe that? Do you think maybe that?
Wait a second.
But I'm saying you're wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. And black.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, so first he says that he's not gonna mention the race of the people, but then proceeds to mention the race of the people. Do you know what? And then the doctor that gave him a misdiagnosis, how does he know it was a misdiagnosis? Did he get a second opinion? Did he get a third opinion? I mean, bipolar, like, it's one thing to diagnose someone with maybe like depression, but bipolar is a totally different level. You see what I'm saying? Like,
like he's just continuing to double and triple down on his statements. He's basically saying like, oh, you know, if there's a conspiracy, a Jewish doctor misdiagnosed me. And like he's just adding on, he's just piling on that. It's like, wow, he's literally just doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on it.
Nick, that tweet that you're putting in the chat, can you DM that to me on Twitter? So my thing is, okay, fine. You feel like you were misdiagnosed by a Jewish doctor. Okay. Go find yourself a black psychiatrist and have them diagnose you as a second opinion. You got the money, right?
Yep.
Okay, fine. Get a black one. Or if you prefer a white one, go ahead. One of German or French or English origin, whatever. Fine. But here's the thing. He's constantly, I'm not going to say this, but then does it. Like,
It's still a way to throw them under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm not going to sit here and be an armchair psychiatrist because I don't know what is going on with him. But it's clear that he does have some issues because his doctor prescribed him something. Maybe the doctor did misdiagnose him. I don't know, because there's a lot of people who know that, you know, sometimes the doctor is not doing well enough for them. Who knows? But the thing is he should go see a second opinion if that's the case. But at the same time, he's literally tearing himself apart. And I mean, he's gonna end up in a very lonely life if he continues to keep going the route that he's going.
Hmm.
I mean, look, hang on. Nick says Kanye's anti-black. Why should we stand with him? I can't even. It's like I don't know, man. You know, um,
It's really
there's
crazy. He's done like a string of interviews recently, one with Lex Friedman and one with Piers Morgan. And in the interview with Pierre Morgan, he said that he was Rob Kardashian reincarnated. Rob Kardashian is Kim Kardashian's dad who passed away years ago.
okay.
That's what he said.
Okay. There's a couple of super chats that
Just crazy considering they were alive at the same time. I'm pretty sure that's not possible.
Yana Yisrael says Mammon is the god of love and money. Okay. That is the god Kanye is referencing. Joel Osteen taught him well. This is multifaceted. Y'all gotta be schizo to see what did I just say? The Bible says Satan is the god of the world. He just said God runs the world. I rest my case in every case after this done. Thanks for the super chats. Okay. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, I know. So do I need to continue, Sabs?
I think it's good. Do you have the tweet from Nick?
Oh, hang on. Let me check that real quick. Okay. Let me see. Oh God. Oh.
I think one of the most interesting parts too,
Oh my
though. What?
God.
Oh no.
I haven't seen it, so.
Damn it. Okay, hang on. Let me. Ooh. Okay, hang on. Let me start this and let me share my screen. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get to that question that I wanted to ask you.
Oh no.
Okay, let's enlarge this because this is from Kanye. Says, what should be obvious by now is that I was raised to stand for my truth regardless of the consequences. So I will say this again. I was mentally misdiagnosed and nearly drugged out of my mind to make me a manageable, well-behaved celebrity. Says somebody named Harley says, I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving, open conversation, but don't use cuss words, and everything that is discussed is based in fact, and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with just kids just won't be the same. So that's the tweet by Kanye.
He said, Nick said, read the text. It's crazy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So look, man, capitalism's a hell of a drug. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and people look at me crazy like this, but Kanye's actually a victim of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, because of his talent, capitalists will try to take advantage of him.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's not manageable, then they feel like they can just, then the best way to do it is to wrangle him in instead of actually giving him medications where he still remains of sound mind and thought and able to control himself. But at the same time, his anti-blackness does not his mental health issues does not excuse his anti-blackness. That's another thing that people need to realize. So that's what I have to say about it. And I do not think that I think that there's some internalized anti-blackness that's within him that he's letting out. There's anti-Semitism that is within him that he's letting out. And don't get me wrong, I think that I don't think that the company Adidas or a lot of these other companies are actually care about the people. It's just a business decision.
Yep.
Yep.
And on top of that, I will also say this, and I'll say it again because people will get pissed off, but it's whatever. I say that, even the United States is anti-Semitic because if they're contributing to the desecration and genocide of Palestinians, that is also anti-Semitic. So the United States is anti-Semitic itself because Palestinians are Semites. So the United States government actually has no leg to stand on either. So with that being said, Kanye needs help. He just does. But at the same time, he's not willing to listen to us. He's not willing to listen really to anybody else. And I just hope that he does get the help that he deserves, that he needs. Because I don't,
Agreed.
So, any final thoughts on this? Because this turned deep.
No, not really.
I think we've said it all.
No, okay. All right. Let's go to some comments. I touched on that one. Thanks, JM. I think I already did that. Tiberius Monk says, this is the Sabby and Jaybe show featuring Meg. Last on the YouTube algorithm, but first in our hearts. Now let's get back to the show. Thanks, Tiberius Monk.
Well
Media
done.
Dreams. Thank you so much. Kevin Fred also died at 28. Ozuna. Ooh. I don't know who Kevin Fred is. Is that bad? I don't know.
I don't either.
Danny said, where still the fear of eviction on base housing, Sabby?
No, not unless you got kicked out of the military, which I mean, you
Okay.
have to do something pretty bad to get kicked out of to get discharged.
Mm-hmm. Mary Lex says community is lacking often until crisis hits, like a hurricane, etc. Oh, we've seen that definitely, Meg.
Yeah.
Thank you for the $8.99 rupees, N. Gibson. Larry says, as someone who was also diagnosed as bipolar once, in my opinion, this is more paranoid, delusional, or narcissistic, sociopathic, but plain racism regardless. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tiberius Monk says, JB, Sabby, and Meg, I can't with this man. I swear to white Jeebus, I cannot listen to KK Kanye. If F around and find out was a person, Kanye is that. Damn.
He put this man picture up on Twitter, JB. He put his picture up on here too. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot.
Okay.
So he's basically doxing this guy.
Larry Karowitz says, is it possible that he's trying to run for president as Trump 2.0? The only fans he's going to have from now on are Trumpies and Black Israelites. And then Pasta Jimani says, check his latest tweets. Wild stuff. Okay. I don't know if I have time for this guy. I mean, golly. Hang on. Dear God. Oh my God. I can't. Kanye needs help, man, and I don't I don't know where to go with it. I just don't. So, you know, but let me make sure I get to Roger Meadows, and then I'll get to the question, the big question, because we need some levity.
Yes.
I don't know if we need some levity, so I'm gonna get through these, and then we're getting to the question. Okay. Thanks for the tip on Ruffin, Roger. Roger says, I was wondering what happened to Meg. we keep her like a bottle of the good champagne. We only let her out on special occasions. She's so bubbly that we only have to we only let her out on special occasions for a celebration because she's the bubbly. She gets everybody livened up. But
which is quite ironic since my name is Killjoy.
I love it. Roger continues, says, I haven't seen her since the Bout edition of Panel. What's up, Kill Good? To see you. Jaybe only knew who Takeoff was because of Migos, and that was because of Cardi B going with one of them. Not too much of a fan of hers, but love me some WAP, though. I hear you, Roger. I hear you. He said, hey, stop judging me, ladies. I was talking about the song. What are you talking about? That's my story, and I'm sticking it to it. Speaking of his ex, I'm going to go see her. Oh, Lord. Okay. Roger continues, says, Sabrina, the McDonald's incident sounds like how Scott LaRock, KRS-One, first DJ who was his social worker when KRS was caught up in the shelter system, died. A jealous boyfriend got D nice for his friendship with his girlfriend. D got jumped by a bunch of dudes in the SBX in the South Bronx. He called KRS and Scott for help. Scott, some others came. Some thought he was squashed by BDP. Got in the Jeep to leave one of them. Said couldn't let it go, so he got fired into the Jeeps, and it ricocheted throughout Scott's body, going to his neck out of the groin area. Ooh, yikes. It was understood Chris blamed D for decades because of that, and their relationship was strained since. Don't know if they patched it up. People scrapping with hands and feet was on its way out in the 80s. My Gen X was the last generation who referred playing outside. Roger says, Kanye trying to come back home, like Denzel showing up at Spike Lee's sister's door in Mo Better Blues. Difference here is we ain't trying to let you fuck us like Denzel did her when you did before you tried to peddle Confederate flag T-shirts to us in 2013. That's right, he did. The sisters love playing boy bye. The brothers love saying the fuck out of here. Later for White Lives Matter. Can someone please make him explain the Confederate tees? Candace Owens losing her cash cow baby. She's next. Also, Palestinians are Semites too. Who Adidas was started by Nazis? Holy shit. Why ain't we know this in the 80s? Sarah Silverman needs to shut all the way the sixth letter of the alphabet up. Kanye abandoned us. Whew. Thank you, Roger. All right. Now. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, I got to do this really quick. Okay, Sabby, I got something to ask you. And I got one question for you. Okay. So let's go to. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is by Micah Valentine on TikTok. I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. Oh my God. Okay. Gosh, this thing is okay. Stop playing. Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise. Okay. TikTok is so trigger happy. Okay. So let's do this. Share screen. Gosh, this whole Kanye thing took too much time.
Oh.
Hang on. Okay. All right. So. Okay.
You guys remember back when we were trying to figure out the political parties for different superheroes? Well, I have the answer for you. They're all liberal. I'm not even talking about the Democrat means-tested half-measure type of liberal either. I'm talking straight-up libs. There is some slight variation in how progressive or conservative a superhero could be, and some of them have even done leftist action before. But the idea of superheroes providing individualist solutions to combat systemic issues is a liberal invention. And the idea of a strongman leading us on the path to salvation is a right-wing concept, which makes the entire genre as a whole right-wing liberalism. You can examine this by analyzing the black and white morality, how they choose to solve problems, and the ideologies of their villains. You probably noticed that villains can be either fascist or leftist, but they are always products of systemic issues. And because of the black-white morality, order is good, crime is bad, the leftist villain is always framed to be as evil as the fascist villain. We can look at Killmonger, who wanted to help the African diaspora, or the Flag Smashers, who opposed nationalism and were basically as communist and anti-imperialist as you can get within a liberal comic show, or even Thanos, who wanted to solve the problem of scarcity. But the issue with each one of these factions is that they all had to do heinous shit to achieve their goal, because the story dictated that the superheroes must be the good guys. What makes this worse is that the leftist villains are usually one-shot stories, whereas the fascist villains are allowed to continue to plague society because the superheroes have failed to eliminate the threat.
Okay, so question. The political affiliations of superheroes. I wanted to get your... God, this has to be almost an entirely different video. But I wanted to get your thoughts on, like, who do you think is, like, the most left superhero in your mind? Like, who do you think?
I don't know.
Is there any real true lefty superhero, like someone who's anti-capitalist? Because this is the question that I wanted to get to you guys. So, I kind of think maybe Spider-Man, maybe.
No. Honestly, if I had to say,
what about
anyone,
the Punisher?
No.
Well, he's technically a vigilante, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't consider him anti-capitalist, though. And honestly, his symbol is often used by right-wingers too.
Yep.
Honestly, if I had to pick anyone, I'd probably pick someone like Wonder Woman.
Sabby?
I could see that, Meg.
Honestly, out of anyone, I would only maybe Wonder Woman. Anyone else, I can't really. No, I feel like this guy is kind of onto something.
Yeah, it's the anti-capitalist part that's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
That part's kind of tough.
Yeah. Because he brings out Batman and Tony Stark as the video continues.
Mm-hmm.
But they really could have actually changed things systemically, with the money that they have, but they never chose not to.
Yeah.
Notori says Storm from X-Men. What do you think?
Again, I don't know if she's anti-capitalist.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the piece. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Agreed.
yeah. So that's something. But I know you got to get going, Sabs. Oh gosh. Damn you, Kanye! You took up too much of your time.
He did. He did.
We should definitely come back to this conversation, though. This is an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. We'll do this
After
next
show.
Yeah, we should do this. But Sabby, what you got coming up?
So I'm just doing news tonight, and then tomorrow Steve Grumbine will be on. We're going to talk about the Federal Reserve interest increase.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to talk about it from an MMT perspective.
Okay.
So that should be good. And more news tomorrow as well. But tomorrow night, I should also be finishing up the ballot initiative questions. Yes, I have one more to do. I have one tonight and I have one tomorrow night. So I should be finished with those tomorrow night. And then, yeah, so right before in time for people to go vote for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Sabs. Sorry for running a little overtime, but thank you.
That's okay.
Bye. Okay. So, and then there were JB and Meg. So, I kind of want to finish this video real quick.
Yeah,
Is
go
that
ahead.
okay?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
a little bit of time.
All right. Okay. Let's just finish this up because I actually want to finish this because this is actually really good. This is actually really interesting. And then we can talk about it more at length next time.
Yeah.
It'll be great because I also have some stuff that I want to talk about too. Okay.
When it comes to leftist villains, this is where comic writers try to use some lazy form of gray morality, where they might be people with good radical ideas, but they use an evil process to apply them, and they end up meeting their own demise. Whereas fascist villains are just some innate primordial concept that we have to constantly push back because apparently there's no way to systemically solve it. This leads me to how they're actually solving problems. These people are supposed to be hyper-intelligent alien billionaires with godlike powers and the ability to overcome any challenge that comes their way. But instead of actually solving the systemic issues underlying crime, they suit up and beat down on a bunch of underpaid henchmen until their nemesis gets away and lives to fight another day. They have all the power in the world to change it, but they never actually fix things. They just react to events to preserve the status quo, which is straight up liberalism. We can look at Tony Stark, a former arms dealer and a genius engineer who literally could have solved humanity's energy crisis, which actually would have been a fantastic leftist superhero story. But what we got instead was an ultra billionaire who hoarded all his weapons to himself and used his nearly infinite power source to power up a suit of armor to go around and react to the fallout of systemic issues. Batman has the political gravitas to turn Gotham into a fucking utopia. He's got so much wealth that he aggressively buys Gotham real estate to avoid being charged with trespassing. He supplies the city with security cameras that doesn't ID him. But instead of turning Gotham into a symbol of progress, he insists on funneling people through the broken justice system and Arkham Asylum, where he knows his villains will just break out and wreak havoc again. Superheroism is a LARP fantasy. It's what liberals think they are. You guys remember back...
Your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it's he's not wrong. I mean, it's the same idea that, even MLK, brought up, and like the white liberal is, the enemy of progress. And he makes such a good point too, that like doesn't matter if it's the fascist or the leftist, it's not the ideas that there's someone against, it's the extremism. Like you can't go too far in either direction. But and yet the right wing still continues to go, whereas the left is like you have to like eradicate it immediately. Whereas the fascist side, they get to still kind of play along a little bit. You get to play along.
Yeah.
But so he definitely has a really good point there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, I find that to be very interesting. Somebody actually said a interesting somebody said an interesting point about Dr. Doom. Gosh. Somebody said I started. Why didn't they show up? Okay. Javier said Dr. Doom is a hyper left benevolent dictator. His people love him and they have no hunger. That's interesting because I don't know that as much about Dr. Doom as like I should. I know he's like literally one of the most popular villains, but I don't know as much about him.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he does like rule the country of Latveria, and there's a lot of rumors going around that maybe that might play into what's happening in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. There's some rumors going around that he might be involved. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, I haven't seen the movie, but I'm definitely interested to see what they do with Doctor Doom, particularly since the other Fantastic Four movies that he's been in haven't really done anything with him. Like, I really want to get into that history and get into that mythology with him. as like I'm with you. Like I know who Doctor Doom is, but I don't know enough about him because I haven't read a lot of his comics.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really interesting that they bring that up, and that actually reminds me that Black Adam too, like in the new movie, like in the new movie, I haven't seen the new movie, but I know a little bit from spoilers that I've heard that he's basically come back to the future and he's like working with like, there's a lot of talk of Western imperialism in the movie, and that he's basically brought back as a savior to fight back against the Western invaders. And like one of the main characters, she's like an activist and an archaeologist or something like that. So I'm intrigued by, but from what I hear, it's not very good at making those arguments. But it's interesting though, the points that he's making about like the idea of the strong man versus like, yeah, he makes a lot of really good points that it's very much this idea of the liberal who thinks, oh, we're doing so much good in the world, but only through these very small individual actions. Yeah. And that's something, it's funny because that's something that I've been thinking a lot about like Captain Marvel, for instance. Like people ask me all the time, like why I didn't like Captain Marvel. Particularly as like a feminist film, and that was one of the main reasons because it was a girl power movie. It was about her advancement. It wasn't about anything related to making things better for women. It was about her empowerment and the fact that she had all this power that she could use for good. But but that's not feminist because it's not actually uplifting women. It's just her. And that's the thing that people don't understand about feminism is like that's not actually a feminist thing. Okay. That's why I don't like Captain Marvel.
Got it. Okay. Well, I mean, I think that they dropped the ball on her. I'll be honest with you. I think they could have made her so much better as far as the writing was concerned. Like my problem isn't necessarily with Brie Larson. My problem is with the writing.
Exactly.
So if they did the writing a little bit better, but then also, a lot of times with Marvel and Disney in general is also sometimes they, the VFX and things like that go awry or they're not as good as it should be. But part of that is because of capitalism, because they want to.
Because they're exploiting their visual effects artists?
Yes. So I think that's also another part. So, so yeah. And then also I want to. Oh, there's so much. And I actually want to talk about the politics of Final Fantasy VII because that's literally one of my favorite video games of all time. And I really want to talk about that because the politics of Final Fantasy VII is really interesting. Gosh.
Yeah. God, I haven't seen that game in ages. My brother used to play that.
Oh, I'm a fan. I need to play Crisis Core. Yes, I've never played Crisis Core. I need to play Crisis Core and Dirge of Cerberus because I've never played those. But I want to because they get more into the inner workings of Shinra, which basically Shinra is an electric power company that's also a government entity, which basically means when government and corporations come together to control the masses of people, that turns into fascism. So that's
shocker.
Carlos Magnus says, "What about the Jedi Order?"
Yeah, Jedi Order. Liberal. They're libs.
Oh well, okay.
They're libs. I mean, which if you look back at the RBN channel, I think I don't know if it's still up. Like the Nerdolitics podcast, Jackie and I actually talked about that with Ryan Knight. We talked about Star Wars and we got into a lot of that. So if you can find that episode, check it out.
Okay.
Call back.
Right. Call back. Okay. Cool. Thank you. So I want to give everybody a chance to chill out before Sabby stream. So y'all didn't see that. So, but Meg, what's going on with you? Anything new? So that people can follow you and catch up on what's going on with you.
I mean, I'm still kind of on a Twitter break. I've been very burned out lately, so I've just been like resting. So I mean, you can still follow me on Twitter, at KilljoyMeg. If you really want to know like a lot of what I'm doing, follow my dog on Instagram. Like, that's a lot of what I've been doing. Is like just hanging out, like taking my dog around and just living my life. Just resting and basking in positivity. That's basically what I've been doing a lot. So if you want to know what I'm doing, follow my dog on Instagram at Positively Ginny. Like Positively Ginny.
Nice. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming in, Meg. I appreciate and love you. It was a privilege to have you back. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah.
Also,
it was my pleasure.
I read the last part of Blood in My Eye by George Jackson. It's exclusively on my Ruffin channel. So go ahead and give it a read. I really appreciate reading that book. And so I'm finished. I'm done. So go ahead and give it a read on Ruffin. And yes, Roger Meadows, I'm going to Ruffin right now. Thank you for reminding me. Lord and Lord. Okay. Oh, Roger got some things to say on comic books. Okay. All right. Let's do that before we go. All right?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Let's go! Okay. And then we can end. Okay. So, Roger, thank you for the tip on Ruffin. He says, Captain America is the biggest prop machine. I say that even though I never read DC, I know Oliver Queen is left. But no, because he is not a superhero, because he has no powers, and he is also a billionaire. But this guy definitely never read Marvel. He's going by the movie. Thanos' main reason for doing what he did is because he had an infatuation with Lady Death, who he is trying to impress. That's true. Thanos was trying to get in with Lady Death. He was trying to, shoot a shot by killing half the universe, and it kind of worked, I think.
In the comics, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the comments, Dave. Bert. Oh, the video play's been sucking. Okay. Thanks for letting us know, Dave. Roger also says Magneto is pretty radical left. Killjoy.
That's true. Yeah.
Doctor Doom, Marvel's baddest bad guy until Thanos got those gems. In Secret Wars miniseries from the 80s, where the Beyonder put the bad guys together separate from the heroes, they put Magneto with the good guys. Captain America tried to argue with him about his terrorist activities, but Wolverine came to his defense and said, Captain, I never seen you ever speak about for mutant rights. Ooh, damn. Ooh, damn. And then
I mean, that's actually a good point. Magneto is kind of very left.
Yeah, because I mean,
maybe not economically, but definitely when it comes to social justice, he's very on the left.
Yeah, because the Holocaust and all that too.
Yeah.
Jody says he implied Michael Jackson and he's talking about Kanye. He implied Michael Jackson and Prince were killed by someone switching up their pills, and he would have been if he'd taken the doctor's prescription. Yeah, I understand what he meant, but yeah.
You're still insinuating, though, that it was a Jewish conspiracy.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. X-Men drew comparison to MLK Jr., Professor X, and Malcolm X, Magneto. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think that's actually a good argument that Magneto might be the furthest left.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, we got to talk about this another time.
Yeah,
we'll bring you back on to talk about it. I think we should have
a
panel. I think we should have a panel. I think this would be great.
Yeah.
I got your number. We'll call you back. Anywho,
yeah, you got me.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining. Look, follow Meg on Instagram. Follow her doggy. By the way, her dog is adorable. Trust me, if you want timeline cleanses, follow her dog, okay? Trust and believe that. Okay. Mwah! What are your plans? What are your sales? Leave the world better than you found it. And also, look, be your own superhero and move people to the left. Bye! See you later!